Question I have for you, my good dear brother, is how does a man rule the universe? We have all the access of a king, but all the discipline of a jester.
What is your passion? You need that. You need tension.
A man without no motion? Oh man, he ain't got nothing coming to him.
90% of every journey is course correction.
The women are a lot of times too masculine, the men are too feminine, and the balance, and most of it because we lost the art of it.
You only need 10,000 people on the planet vibrating at true love to change everything. Most people want to talk about their victims. You got to fight the inner you, because the inner you, that's where the stuff is at. We are in a place and a time where mass distraction, it really can't be tamed.
Peace, family. Today, I'm here sharing this moment, this space, this time with a dear elder, someone who is a tree with deep roots and a lot of branches of knowledge. It is beautiful to be able to sit with our elders, to listen, to fellowship, to learn, because the way our ways, the way our wisdom travels through time is through the spaceship of the mind. It takes us through space and time. And the way that we receive that is through shared communication of light between each other, to where we listen, we decode, we understand, we download, we upload, we reload, and we're ready for that next mode. Today, I have a good question for the doctor, someone who has been here on this show before. Our last episode got 1 million views because he was showing people those light codes. Today, I just have one question for him that we're going to dive in, because I believe that he is the man to answer this question. Of all men that have came in a line of succession, all ancestrals and lineages throughout time, this question was for one mind and one mind only, and specifically at this moment. Question I have for you, my good dear brother, is how does a man rule the universe?
To rule the universe, you must rule the innerverse. As above, so below. Everything out there is mirrored inside. So by ruling or controlling or navigating the innerverse, everything follows that rhythm. The rhythm of self. You are the universe. You are the omniverse. We are the rhythm. We are the orchestra of all things, the orchestrators. We're the engineers, we're the writers, we're the arrangers, we're the copywriters, we're the publishers. That's all within us, depending on how we express.
There's a story about Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was a man who so-called wielded fire without being burnt. He developed a philosophy of Stoicism during his 19-year reign. And during those times, the goal of his time as a ruler was to not overindulge, right? All of those emperors who came before him, they overindulged in gluttony, they overindulged in the addiction of power. Why? Because they can do whatever they want to. Nobody could check them. They didn't care. They had whorehouses full of women. They had all of the spoils that they want to. They had no reason to check themselves. They can do whatever they want to and rule 100%. And he decided that that wasn't his way. He decided that I want to rule with virtue. And his story is so famous because it speaks to the natural darkness that men have and how that rules us, even when we get a little bit. And we're talking about a kingdom, and some men have the same possession of weight of responsibility as a kingdom now, especially get money, influence, position, power. And the idea was understanding, getting to a point of clear thinking, right? Of thinking to where you wrestle with your spirit and that becomes your fight. And then that strength becomes your wealth, knowing that other men cannot do the same in the same position, right? And in that, wrestling with yourself is that wrestling with the universe, right? And in primordial terms, the black bull was a representation of the black god and all that strength, all that testosterone, that black hide, that power, that energy, that charge. And it's your chance and your opportunity every single day to calm the bull, to wrestle him, put him in a headlock and tell him to relax. But that bull has to get out because he's ferocious. So it's your opportunity to point it in the right direction, not at everything, in the right direction. So how does man live according to that in today's time when we have all the access of a king, but we have all the discipline of a jester?
We are in a place and a time where mass distraction is strong. It's like the bull. It's wild. It really can't be tamed unless you find your peace and you narrow this down to only what you are here to focus on. 90% of every journey is course correction. If you set out on the ocean of life and you don't quite have a destination, you're going to float with the tides. You know, you're going to end up all over the place and wonder why you're lost. It's because you haven't set out with a destination. And to know that life is like the wild bull until you begin to find out where, and it's interesting. Once you know where your Achilles heel is, you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths. You see, even if it's only one, and a lot of times your strength is your passion. What is your passion? Everything outside of that could be the bull. You're fighting life and wondering why you keep losing. So to become the matador picks a point. The matador is attracting the bull, but it begins to, the matador's thing is to watch the bull and watch the bull when the bull shifts. See, it's a rhythm. The bull, he does his thing and he stops for a second. There's a pause. Once you begin to realize where those spaces are, where those pauses are, you're inside the rhythm. You see, so it's like the mongoose fights the cobra. So the cobra goes to the left, goes to the right, goes to the left, and then strikes. The mongoose watches. The mongoose may get bitten. Mongoose never fights without its medicine being within 50 to 100 feet. So plantain, which is a herb, is one of those plants that sucks toxins out. So the mongoose gets hit, it runs over, it gets its medicine, eats it, right? Makes it foamy in his mouth, puts it on its wound, goes back out. Now the cobras are leaving saying, yeah, I got them. And he says, yo, cobra, you don't have me yet? Let's do this. So now the cobra does its thing. 1, 2, 2.5. The mongoose strikes because it learned the timing. Because each thing has a time, it has a space. And once you learn that space and you can get in between that space, that's when you can strike. You see? So our own, what you call dark side, it has a time and a space. You have to know when that comes. When do I go down? A lot of us are manic depressive and don't even know. You eat something and all of a sudden you're just feeling, you feel bad. Because food creates your mood. More information is going from your gut to your brain than from your brain to your gut. So if you're a good matador, right? You've got to know what you can eat and when you can eat it and how you can eat it. You might be able to eat something toxic at the right time. You see, so it's all about timing. It's all about rhythm. Getting in between the beats, in between, so that you can strike just before the thing that is your opposition strikes, because there's a rhythm to it. And a master learns the rhythm of nature, learns the rhythm of the universe. So right now on the 26,000 year calendar, we're at the place where we've shifted out of the dark age, out of the iron age, which towards the end became the rusty age. Right now we're in the morning. We're at the time when we're going into the feminine cycle. We're going into time where we're actually, see, the first half of the cycle is the fall of man, when we're falling away from the center of the galaxy. When the poles are shifting away from the center of the galaxy, the energy drops, because that's the radio station, the center of the galaxy, Hanab-Ku, or many different languages. It's named many things. But when we move away from that, the station gets static. You can't hear it, so you don't get the message. So what happens? Messengers come. There's certain people that always get the message, because they're not waiting to receive the message. They internalize the message. This is what you call the prophets. So now we're at a time where the prophets are you. You have to know what time it is. You have to know how to know when and when to know how. If you know right now the energy has changed, the weather is changing, everything is changing. We're seeing more dragonflies than ever because we're in the dragonfly period. We're in the time of the wood dragon. What does that mean? You don't just have one discipline. You take all the disciplines and put them together, and you look at the rhythm. We're at a rhythm right now where the feminine energy is online. And we have to allow that feminine energy to flow, because that nurturing is what we need, because we just came out of war. We just came out of a time of disillusion. We just came out of the time of manipulation. We were easily manipulated because we couldn't get the signal. We had to wait for somebody else to tell us what the signal was saying. What did God say? Well, God said that you're such and such. You're sitting, oh my God, God said that. You see? But actually, that same godness that they're talking about is actually in you too, but you couldn't hear it based on what you ate, based on your clothing, even clothes. People don't realize there's certain things they wear is blocking their frequency. They're wearing polyester. They're wearing these man-made frequencies. So all of a sudden, they're sucking life force out of your body. Then you eat some food that's man-made or something manipulated or hybridized to the point where it's like a clone. It's sucking energy out of your body. Then you were taught a language of disempowerment by your parents, how hard it is, how tough it is. You never had a show. Come on, man. You never have a show like this. You got millions of people following you. You got to go to college to get that. Get a degree, a 1 degree or 2 degrees, when the circle is 360 degrees. So once you begin to take charge of the ship, and once you begin to look at things and realize what you are focusing on, nobody else sees, nobody else hears it. You got to stay delusional. You got to be crazy. Oh, you'll never do that. No, it's like in my personal case, all the things they said I would never do, I did. Almost everything I've done was considered impossible. Then they tell me, oh man, you was before your time. How's that possible? How could I be before my time? How are you going to tell me that? Oh man, you're getting ahead of yourself. How can I get ahead of myself? I'm ahead of myself? Oh, who do you think you are? I think I am who I am. See, all that kind of stuff? If you let the people play with you, because the people are in a farm like sheep. You see what I'm saying? They're speaking the language of the farm. They can't see off the farm. You got to be that black sheep that leaves. And now you begin to navigate your life. And when you're out in nature, you have to have your timing right. You got to watch. Okay, the leaves are turning. Like just before it rains, the leaves turn upside down because there's updrafts. So in nature, your timing is always, it's going to rain. I need to find shelter. I smell the ocean. The ocean must be that way. See, when you get to the point where you're so caught in a system that tells you everything to keep you caught, you're basically domesticated. There's a dome over you. You're in that domicile. Now you're under the king's dome. The king dome. I live within the king dome. Who's dumb? Is you dumb or the king's dome? Or it's a funny type thing. When you begin to take charge and begin to be open and willing, that is feminine. I'm going to wait till it happens. I'm going to feel it when it's happening. You have some knowledge from before, but that is not the knowledge that you're going to use right now, because what's happening now has never happened before. So your senses got to be online. You got to be in touch with yourself. And if you've been so masculated, because over the last 6,000 years, it's been all about masculine energy, knowing this is the truth, this is the law, this is the way it is. We're at a place now where most of that stuff don't even work. You go to college for what? 4 years and get out, and they don't even have that career. This is a machine doing that. What are you going to do now? You see, you got to feel it. You got to be able to flow with the waves. And when that bull pops up, you got to look the bull in the eye. But then there's a point where you must look away from the bull. Because if you stare the bull in the eye certain times, you done. They're going to take you out, because the bull is looking at survival too. The bull will hypnotize you. So you look the bull in the eye, you look away. You look the bull in the eye, you look away. Then you breathe. And if you breathe a certain way, the bull can't see you clearly. If you have erratic breathing, oh my God, it's a bull. You begin to glow. You begin to glow like yellow. That's like the dog can tell fear, because it's a yellow energy coming from you, from your third chakra, from your solar plexus. Oh, he's afraid. Let me scare him some more. So when you feel that, you got to know to breathe and realize that this has never happened. And now begin to create and co-create based on that moment, because it's never happened before. So now the thing that must happen is true improvisation in the moment. Mother wit. Listen to your gut. Don't doubt it.
You said something interesting. You use the term masculated. And we are in a space and time where balance is not being met. And so there's a war. And a war is a war where both sides are claiming an imbalance on the other. There's too much masculation. There's too much femination. And so the manifestation of that happens to where the vessels, the young boys that are too effeminate, they don't have the masculine energy to take what they feel and produce and balance what they feel from what they know. So therefore they dream, but they can't do. And this loss, it's sending them into nihilism, despair, feeling that this is all for nothing. Why am I here? And it's sending them down the path of sickness, because you have an excess amount of energy like the bull, but you're contained in this 5x5 square. And that square is your mind, because you're not expanded to the vastness of understanding that darkness is infinite. The light just exposes what's in the dark when it shines and shows us a hue of what's there. But that light is the activation of energy. So your time starts when your motion starts. So you're correct. You can't be ahead of your time, because you are your time. You make the right moves, you have the right time. A man without no motion, oh man, he ain't got nothing coming to him. You can think it all you want to. You can try to will it all you want to, but ain't no wills coming to you. I'm hungry as hell, but unless I pull up my app, go order some Uber Eats, ain't nobody hopping in that car and bringing it to me. You know? Now, maybe if I build a universe to where I project that thought and somebody think about me and be like, man, Keys ain't ate in a while, but that's still work that I have to put in before the thought comes in. And to where I think about these young men and these young women, the women are sometimes too, or a lot of times, too masculine. The men are too feminine, and the balance, and most of it because we lost the art of knowing each other. So if I don't know the women, I don't know myself. If she don't know the man, she don't know herself. I should be able to see the elder women and see the elder men, and you grow up and say, Mama, Baba, I see you. You learn the ways of both and how they emanate from each other. And then from that, you learn the blueprint of what the universe is made of, these cosmic entities that we see as we call mothers and fathers. And they both have different ways that they go about raising us, nurturing us, putting what's in us, knowing when to push, knowing when to pull, knowing when to let you fall, and knowing when to help you up. Knowing when to let you know you're okay by yourself, but you could do it alone. This has to be a balance, because when we get too much, then it becomes toxicity, and then it becomes sickness, and then we start to depend when we don't need to, when we need to be depended upon. So as we talk about this universe, because each one of us is a universe, But we are cosmically unarranged in the right way, because after the motion comes the order. So we can't build structure unless you got some order. The motion is the feminine. We get into the waves of the motion. We moving, baby. It feel good. I'm moving. Now the order is, how do you put that knowledge to structure, reason, and the logic to make sure that you can build something, to do something about it, right?
So a tree, it makes lots of flowers, lots of seeds. Only a small percentage of them are going to germinate. You only need a few to germinate. Sometimes only one. Some fell on hard soil. Some fell on rock. Some the birds ate. Some the squirrels ate. You only need one to make what? Thousands and thousands of more seeds. So when we look out at what we think we see going on, is we see all these seeds. But then we have one that germinates. That one begins to grow. That one seed is 19 keys. That's all you need right now, is that one seed. That one seed can put out so many more seeds and send a message. Because so in the rainforest, they taught these monkeys to wash their yams. They would feed them yams. And they taught one female monkey to wash its yam. It washes the yam. Within a week, all the monkeys in that area are washing their yams, even if they didn't know that monkey, didn't see that monkey. Within another week or so, there's all over the island, they're washing their yams. Then they check in other continents. Within a short period of time, they're washing their yams all over the world, all the monkeys. What just happened? Morphogenic resonance. When things vibrate together, right? They migrate together. It's a sympathetic vibration. If I have a guitar on this side of the room and another one on that side of the room, and they're both made of the same type of wood, come from the same stock, they got the same type of strings on them. Now, if I pluck an A on that one, the A on the other one vibrates too. You didn't even touch it. You didn't have to touch it, because it was already in the position to pick up that frequency. Everybody's not in the position to pick up the frequency. So we keep talking about what they're doing. What they're doing is what they're supposed to do. We can't change them. They are like the seeds that fell on hard soil. Most of them are not going to make it. You only need one. You only need one rhythm. You only need oneness, and you need that to be concentrated. That particular one is the one we water. That's the one we nurture. Now that's going to what? Now make more seeds. Because you only need 10,000 people on the planet to change the vibration of the whole planet. If you had 500 people vibrating at the frequency of 500, it's true love. There's always a certain amount of people on this planet vibrating at true love. That's true love, not the man-made love, not the made-up love. One person vibrating at true love affects all the people with the frequencies below 500, just by their resonance, by the frequency, by the sympathetic vibration they're putting out. Certain ones are going to raise their vibration based on that one, based on 19 keys. He keeps hitting the A tone. He keeps atoning. He's on the A tone. He realizes his issues and he's changing. He realizes what he's done in life and he said, I got to go back. He's forgiving. He's understanding. He's in gratitude mode. He's putting out the message every single day. He's growing more seeds based on his ideas. Now, all of a sudden, all the other beings on the planet that are vibrating just like that, they begin to vibrate too. And you're bringing them up from 250 hertz. 400 hertz. They're at true love too. You only need 10,000 people on the planet vibrating at true love to change everything. The masses is always going to be out there just to be extra seeds. You only need one. In every movement, there's only like one. You got this Jesus the Christ. You got Muhammad. You got Krishna. You got all these beings that come as just one. But they're so much at oneness with themselves, they have a certain rhythm and a certain tone and a certain frequency. You see what I'm saying? That they now affect so many people, and most people have only lost and turned out. It ain't our job to fix it. Our job is to vibrate the frequency that we have and attract the right frequency to us, and that is going to be more powerful than everybody, because everybody's never going to get in the fast lane. Everybody's not ever going to be on a high vibration like you. They can't hear you. They don't even know what you're talking about. You look good. You sound good. I wonder what he said. Well, what did he say? Well, he was like, What he had said was, well, you saw, I saw, he said, what did he say? He said, be on a high vibration. Well, what did 19 Keys talk about? He talked about a high vibration. You see, that person, they like it, so they're there and they're bathing in that light that you put out, that you're emitting, but they might not get the message, but they get the feeling, and that's just enough. As long as they get the feeling, because the feeling is a vibration, it's a tone, it's a frequency.
A lot of the things that we afraid of, those are the means that we have to do that's necessary that get us that freedom.
Y'all give it up for 19 Keys!
Hey, the 19 Keys.
Our community needs men like him.
More people need to know what's going on.
People from our communities can relate. It was nice to see like so many black men in here. All melanated people coming together.
Any other city you at, I'm there.
We talking about creating a new culture with this tour.
This was a high-level experience. We were given high frequency. It was an amazing experience.
And information to be successful in this now.
The VIP up in front. It was one of the best birthday gifts I could have asked for. I feel like it was the best money I ever spent. I'd rather be here than seeing Beyonce.
Make sure we get together and have high-level conversation.
For me, I'm all about taking this over so that we get to the highest level.
Oh man, there's a lot of cities to hit, a lot of people to touch.
And it's beautiful.
It's my first time here. We out here.
We at a crucial time where the ones, and you said it so eloquently, you talk about the tuning or the atonement or the tuning, because the tone comes from tones as well. But we at the time where there are many frequencies playing, and we have to train our ear to hear the highest one, the one that is for us, the one that sings the songs of our freedom, of our enlightenment, of our higher consciousness, of our power, of our ruling. Because it's like the one that plays the flute for the Cobra, got them hypnotized with the music moving. The Cobra forgets, man, I'm supposed to be out there moving about. I'm really supposed to be, I'm hungry. It's time for me to go eat. They got me hypnotized to the goddamn music. I ain't even supposed to be on there. I'm supposed to be guarding the eggs. But that's how we are when we get entrained into the attainment that they keep putting in front of us. They know how to trap our nature into one frequency, right? Because they've studied us so much. So now here's the one over here speaking, but you got the frequency over here, the demon that's keeping you over here in this energy. And the God is like, wait a minute, you get a second in and out. If you can hear me, I'm here. And then after they listening and they spend all their time, money, and energy with the devil, they go and pray and ask to hear God. It's like, damn, well, you spent the whole day ignoring them, right? And so when they do that, you're ignoring yourself. And this is where you get to a point where you start to feel low because you realize, because there's a side of you, that God within, you're having this conscious experience for multi-dimensions. It's the experience of the external, and then there's this experience, number one, that my field, I feel it, but then I feel this observer looking back on me at all times. At all times. I'm doing, but then I'm seeing what I'm doing, right? And I'm measuring that, and I'm conscious of it all. But then sometimes, or a lot, we ignore our God within so much. That God within gets lonely. That God within now got to spend so much more energy just to get you to hear him, not even get you to do. Just listen to me for once. And then we become that external God to other ones and be like, won't you listen to me for once? You done did everything you can possibly do, and this is where you ended up, and you still think that you're the right person to listen to. Well, I'm more in tune with my God, so listen to this frequency for now. And we get to a place where the masses are caught up in a crowd of the emotions, and that's how they start playing the flute, and they got you stuck in the entrainment, and there's one who's still on a higher frequency to say, God damn, y'all don't all see that they playing y'all? And so then it becomes a normal thing. My niece, I think it was my mother was telling me how my niece wanted to go outside and she wanted to be dressed a certain way. And my mom, she don't play that old school. Like, there ain't no way you doing that in my household. And she hit her back with the, well, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. And you just take a step back and you realize, like, is that the only reason you want to do it? Is it the right thing to do? Is it a good thing to do? Is it a best thing to do? Is it the way that you're going to get your way? What are you hoping to get by doing what everybody is doing? By being on the frequency that the world is trained by, especially when you say that you don't like the world. But the minds of the world that are in agreement of this mass consensus of collective thought is the world itself. And so drawing back from that, being in your mastery and having the courage to be at a higher frequency, because that's what it requires. It requires a certain age that people don't get to, and that's that courage. You're supposed to be outraged, right? You're supposed to be so furious with the fact that other people don't know themselves, that you become so much of yourself that you remind other people of who they are. And then no matter what you do, whether you fall off or you got to get back on, you constantly get back to the journey. You never allow yourself to straddle too far. You give yourself the grace to understand that that's okay. I just sometimes remind myself to understand why it's so important to be here, right? But then it also gives you the experience to know how it feels for other people who stay there. And then when you come back by getting yourself back on point, now you have the knowledge to get people from there. Like, oh, I've been with you. I felt that before. I see why you get stuck in it. But let me tell you how I got out of it. Maybe you can't do it the exact way that I can, but just by the exerber effect. Maybe that frequency go hit you and you'll figure it out your way. And then you'll be back to that God body. Because that's all we ever trying to do, is just to get people to be themselves. Throughout history and time, masters and leaders, messengers and prophets were just getting you to just be yourself. But that means something to different people everywhere across the planet Earth, because most people are lost. So we try to give them a map. We call that map knowledge. We call it enlightenment. We call it Christ consciousness. We call it religion, spirituality. We call it all of these words, which are just sounds constantly. All we've been doing to each other is singing throughout time and hoping that you catch that tune. Because if you do, it can activate the mind and the light inside, and you start to live at a higher frequency. If you don't, the light starts to die and you get to a frequency that we call death, and you can no longer move.
So the same sun is shining the same amount of light on everything. Same sun. Some people can't see it. Some people, they can't feel it. They don't like it. Some people are allergic to it. Some people bask in it. But it's putting out all the frequencies that are needed for life here. But that sun is putting out these tones and these frequencies that not everybody has ears to hear. They're not even supposed to. They are supposed to do what they do because you need contrast. Without contrast, you wouldn't know what up is versus down, black versus white. So each person is here, each being, each thing, each entity, each particle is here to do its thing. Once you realize that, you realize that what we're calling the devil is very useful. You need that. You need tension. You need pressure sometimes. You've got to go through the pain and the turmoil to make that diamond, right, become a diamond from coal. If it didn't go through heat, if it didn't go through the resistance, it would not ever be a diamond. You know, you got all kind of rocks. Most of them are not diamonds. So to be a diamond, that diamond must choose. It must feel that vibration. It must collect through what they call in quantum physics, the gluon state. That when they wanted to know, well, what makes particles of a certain kind stick together? Why is a diamond together like it is? What holds it together? It's the gluon state. It's an invisible field around two particles that keeps them together. So people that are part of the gluon state are sticking to what they're doing no matter what. They're not looking at what the world is doing because the world doesn't even exist to them. Because they're constantly navigating their ships to the right. They're fishing to the right. They're throwing their nets to the right. Everybody else may be throwing their nets to the left. You got to keep throwing your shit to, what did you hear? What did you hear? What was your frequency? What was your song? What moved you? What woke you up? You listened to 19 keys for 3 years, and all of a sudden he says one phrase. You wake up. That was the key. There's a key, there's a note, there's a frequency for everybody. We can't be as concerned anymore about what they are doing. Because they only exist because you keep looking at them and keep talking at them. So the devil exists because we keep thinking of good and bad. But you can't have good without bad. You can't have up without down. Some people want to be conscious, but the subconscious still got it. Some people want to be rich, but broke still got it. Huh? Some folks want to be positive, but negative still got it. That's not bad. That's just what they do. You got to figure out who you are. You got to sometimes say, oh, well, I know who I am. They not like us. When you got that, that's division. We need to do division. They need to teach division first. So you can divide yourself instead of learning how to do addition. So now you got friends on the playground. You got to do what they do. That's my crew. You know what I'm saying? You had to do that. You got to do it because you don't feel full. You didn't get the right signal from the sun that told you were different. You see what I'm saying? Once you get that I'm different, you can't be afraid. You said the key word, courage. You got to have courage. You got to be ready to deal with what they can throw all the arrows at you. You don't mind. You see what I'm saying? They can say whatever they want about you.
You don't mind.
Oh, he's this and he's that. He's corny. You're at home. You're always you let them talk. But you become like the swan. The swan sits on that ocean, on that, well, not on the ocean, but on the lake. And it goes down under the water to get a fish. And it comes back up. And its feathers are never wet. The water just beads up. The water is not its enemy. It knows how to use water. So once you are able to take your opponent's energy that they're throwing at you and do it, use it as alchemy, transformation. Somebody cusses you out. They go off on you. If you're able to say, thank you for that. They done called you every name in the book plus some. And you listen to them carefully. You got to breathe and do this because our emotional self, we want to trigger. We want to fight because we were taught to fight. Fight for your rights. Don't let them call you that. You sit and breathe. And when they finish cussing, you say, that's very interesting. I think you're right. I'm going to take that into consideration. Thank you for your point of view. They feel like they won. Yeah, I got him, man. I slapped him, man. He didn't say nothing. He didn't even defend himself. But they don't know the art of war. The art of war is to not fight. And when you do, take them out. You need to know what is their weak spot? Where is their Achilles heel? That's timing. But you want to express yourself right now. Just go off and talk. You don't mess with me. I'm from the Johnson family. You know how the Johnsons are. Half the Johnsons is in jail. The other half has got diabetes, heart disease, craziness, foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? L-timers, old-timers. They don't even have ancestors. They got ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? You step on them and they just eat you alive. You understand what I'm saying? You know how you have that anthill? You step on that something, they start biting you? That's their families. Don't mess with them. That's the Johnsons, man. They crazy. Well, how they doing? Well, they got, they special because you're reacting.
Yeah.
And you were taught to react. Instead of finding your wind, your flow, your wings, you spread them no matter what. You see, once you're able to fly above the storm, you see, this is a falcon. There ain't that many falcons. They haven't even filmed too many of them.
Yeah, most people pigeons.
Pigeons. Now, why are you a falcon hanging out with pigeons? Pigeons are pecking around for what man gave them. Eating cigarette butts. You've been to New York. They be eating cigarette butts and popcorn and leftovers. Why are you hanging with pigeons?
Not even
the pigeons is worried.
Not even a messenger pigeon. Not even a pigeon with a job. The little broke pigeons asking for bread.
You just waiting. Some of them got a half a foot because something happened.
Dirty.
Why is Mr. Falcon here? The pigeons are nervous. Is he going to kill us? It's a game. Maybe he's a government pigeon. I mean, you know what I'm saying? No, the falcon does not hang out
with
pigeons.
Hell no.
They don't even hang out with eagles. It flies to the highest point, and it finds a point far away, and it flies. And half the time, it's not even flapping its wings. It's on the airstream. It flies above the hurricane. People fighting and arguing, talking about who they voting for, and who's bad and who's good. The falcon goes right above all that and can recognize its prey, 10 miles away, 5 miles away? How could you do that? Because it knows the frequency of its prey. and it knows the frequency of its life. And it knows how to glide above all the stuff because it must fly most of the time alone. It's cool being alone. Once you take this journey, this is the journey of the seeker. You may have to be alone. But if you're going to travel with somebody, you want to travel with someone who's on the same road to success. They're going to Damascus. You going to Damascus? Yeah, I'm going to Damascus. Let's go together. Let's help each other. Don't get jealous now. You know what I'm saying? Don't be tripping. Don't be lying. Don't try to eat all the food. We're going to be together. You either want to be on the road with those who are going to success or those who are there. You don't want to hang out with losers because your family's, you shouldn't do that. Oh, no, see, your uncle got into that crypto stuff. Let me tell you, well, it wasn't crypto back in the 60s, but what it was a pyramid scheme. They called it the airplane. And he lost his shirt, his shoes, he had an old Ford Fairlane. He even lost that thing. You shouldn't get into the investment stuff. Just get you a good job. It's a good job down at the foundry now. You're going to get benefits down there. You graduate, they give you a nice watch. What do you need a watch when you retire? They give you a watch. You sitting there with medicines all around you looking at the TV. What's this all about? And you're happy to get the benefits. What are the benefits? You can go to the doctor and get medicines, but that'll take your ass out. The number 3 cause of death is iatrogenesis. Doctor or hospital or medical system causes disease. The thing about getting a good job and good benefits is you get that knee in that lane and you got to see the doctor every 6 months. When you go see him, he's going to tell you to bend over and do whatever you got to do, and he's going to find something wrong with you. Why? This is how he makes his money. You up in here, something's wrong with you. Just to be up in here, something's wrong with you. You see? You couldn't check in with yourself? You think the falcon is going to the doctor? The falcon flies, and they say they sleep flying. They're always on post. You know, brothers be on post sometimes, eating bean pie. You know what I'm saying? He's got some macaroni and he's selling fruit now. So where's the bean pie? So I found some fruit over the grocery store. Man, we're just supposed to be on post. The minister's speaking. Oh man, it's gonna be all right. Huh? How many people's on post now? You're supposed to be on post. Where is it? Oh man, his woman called, he got woman problems. Well, why is he on post? Well, he got a whole lot of likes. He got a lot of followers. So that's how you get your image today. How many followers? Yeah, he got a lot of followers. Followers? I'm like, Billy, we need leaders. Never mind following. So it's about you realizing that it's your time now and that you must be the falcon, must be ready to go alone, but watch your family because they'll talk you out of your greatness. Because they still on the farm. They still, Massa's going to give us turkeys for Christmas. Come on now, just be good, Willie. Please, just be quiet. Just be quiet, Willie. Just shut up. And if you do that, because the family lives in fear, they're inferior. They have an inferiority complex. So they're like those fish in the experiment. You take a fish bowl, right? You put a divider down the middle, put water on both sides, put the fish on one side, and feed them every day for 21 days. At the 21st, 22nd day, take the divider out. The fish stay on one side. They never go to the other side. You put food on the other side. You starve the fish. Don't let them eat. Put food on the other side of the fish tank. They just sit there and look at it. They will not go past the divider that's not there. Why? They've been trained. They've been conditioned. This is because they're not ready to go to that forbidden zone. And who told them it was forbidden? Their own minds. Right now, we are so free, it's ridiculous. We got more power right now. We got all kinds of stuff working with us. We got a 19 keys. You got a 19 keys today.
And a Doctah Sirius.
You got a Billy Carson.
Are you serious?
You got Mike Rashid. All these folks was dropping knowledge like crazy. And, you got your point of view. I got we all have a slice, and we put it together and make a big pie. We're feeding the people who are ready to eat. Everybody ain't ready to eat. Everybody ain't on the up-to-date. Most people want to talk about their victims. I mean, talk about how they're a victim of everything, about what they're doing to us, what they did, what had happened, how we got to fight the enemy. You got to fight the inner you because the inner you, right, that's where the stuff is at. You got to be able to walk on water. You can't wait to see somebody walk on water. You're supposed to walk on water because that's a symbol of balance. You got to turn the rocks into what? Bread. You can do that. You got to turn the water into wine. That's alchemy. It can all be done because everything is energy. You're just manipulating the tone and the frequency. And right now we're at a point where we're finally doing that. We're outside of this age where we're under total control. We got to stop waiting on the prophets and be prophetic. Do what you love. Be passionate about it. Take charge. Stop worrying about making everybody else happy. And the other thing is judgment. The minute you judge other people, you lose power. The minute you start talking about what they're doing and what they did, you lose power. Never mind what they did. Mind your business and business your mind. You got to focus on what you're doing. So you got bottles, right? Gallon bottles, and you just put pennies in there every day. Put a penny in a gallon bottle every day. 1 penny. Ting. You've been doing this since a child. It was a piggy bank. Now it's a piggy bottle. Boom. Boom. Just keep putting a penny in there. Then start putting quarters in there. Every week. Take the family's money, put $20. You're going to put 20. A group of family. Never, we get to the family reunion, what's happening? Barbecue. What we eat? We eat watermelon and chicken. Come on, them two, you can eat just the watermelon. But what we're doing at the party is we're staying out on this side of the fish tank. We all said, let's have the talk. If somebody gets on the mic, so what we're going to do as a family, $20 a month. We're going to put in a fund. The next thing is, well, who going to control the fund? I didn't giving y'all my money. You see? So we don't have that cooperative economics. You see what I'm saying? Once you start building, and then all of a sudden out of that, we're going to find out who in the family is a falcon. You got one falcon. That boy sitting in the corner, bobbing his head. He ain't said nothing to nobody. That's the falcon. Because you ain't talking the right language. You're talking the language of pigeons. Why would the falcon even talk to you? Talk about he's on the spectrum. What spectrum? Who created the spectrum? He's a genius. You put wood in front of him, he done built a whole house in a spaceship. You see, getting from crypto, he done figured out everything about crypto in minutes. But you said he would talk to you. He's bobbing back and forth. That's the falcon. But we see that as a weakness. That's power. Power to just be alone, to be quiet, to be in that cave and wait till the angel comes. The angel comes and talks to you. You don't run down the hill. Guess what, y'all? Man, I was up there, man. The angel came. You got to be quiet. They will hang you. Tell me the angel came. You done lost your mind, man. You've been taking some of that rue. You've been eating rue out there on the desert. No, the angel comes to those who are ready to accept and those who already have wings. Because the angel only comes to itself. Because through morphogenic resonance, the angel only comes to those who are registering that frequency. Then we all become angels. We all become the ones. And we come together at this time. This could never happen till now. The door is wide open right now. The feminine energy I'm talking about has to do with being nurturing and loving. In fact, stop throwing so much shade and so much sand and begin to what? Mind our business, bind together like a bundle of sticks. Now we got power. But you got to get out of what they're doing and what they did and what we think is going on out there, because that's just what to test us. A master always tests itself. That's why you decided to manifest here now. Why would you just, Cobra is crazy, man. Why am I here now? Because the master always comes into a place where it's got to be tested. A true master just doesn't sit down and just say, we got everything we need. You mad because they got seedless grapes. Man, they ain't got no seedless grapes. So you sitting there eating them anyway. Don't eat them. You know what I'm saying? But you get mad about it and talk about what they did. No, they is you, the other side of you. So what we did was we created something outside of ourselves so we can recognize ourselves. They call it the brown journey. See? So that's where we are right now. We're recreating the world. Everything has changed here today. Even with this program that we're doing, it's changing everything. But what you're doing right now, what you do every day, you're changing. You're giving people a chance and an idea and a view into something they never even imagined. You're changing the whole world.
And that's how you rule the universe. It's been another episode, 19 minutes. Make sure y'all tap into the next one. Doc, you want to tell them where they can find you?
You can find us at elevationtime.com, and make sure that you get rid of your parasites, because your mental, physical, and spiritual parasites will eat you alive. Not just the physical parasites. We're talking about the ones that are systemic, that the ones that are controlling your mind, your mindset, like that toxoplasma. So we have, products that we've created that help take you to that next level by getting rid of the toxins in your body, the toxins in your mind, and the toxins in your spirit, so you can become at oneness. Now you are frequency, right, dependent, and you only attract what you are. You see, now you're a part of the morphogenic resonance. You are morphing yourself into the frequencies that are like you. And you recognize right away what is not like you. That's why we call it elevation time.
Yes, sir.
To rise and be like you originally were, passionate, loving, forgiving. And that's the grateful thing about it all, is having the chance to be grateful before the thing has happened. No more begging.
Ashe. Thank you.
When do you feel you're at your highest self?
I feel like I'm at my highest self when I've been consistent. All of my personal training, working out, properly, taking care of nutrition, reading, and, keeping up with, your own mental growth.
Starting my mornings with meditating. When I go on a juice cleanse and I just have all of this energy, also saying my affirmations every day, that's what keeps me going and lifted.
I feel like I'm at my highest self when I'm in my flow. And that means doing things from a place of creativity and passion. Make sure that I always journal every day and that I have at least 3 things that I'm grateful for that have nothing to do with my accomplishments.
This is
the High Level Club.
Are we low level or high level? A lot of the things that we are afraid of, those are the means that we have to do that's necessary that get us that freedom.
Y'all give it up for 19 Keys!
The 19 Keys. Our community needs men like him.
More people need to know what's going on.
People from our communities can relate. It was nice to see like so many black men in here. All melanated people coming together.
Any other city you at, I'm there.
We talking about creating a new culture with this tour.
This was a high-level experience. We were given high frequency. It was an amazing experience.
And information to be successful in this now.
The VIP up in front. It was one of the best birthday gifts I could have asked for. I like the best money I ever spent. I'd rather be here than seeing Beyonce.
Make sure we get together and have high-level conversations.
For me, I'm all about taking this over so that we get to the highest level.
Yo, man, there's a lot of cities to hit, a lot of people to touch. It is beautiful.
It's my first time here. We out here.